Howdy YouTube, today we're taking a look at the Minichamps 1/18 scale McLaren MP4-21 driven by Juan Pablo Montoya. A really nice looking model. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of, say, the 2005 to 2008 Formula One cars. I think with all the aero and winglets and things like that, it really detracted from the appearance of the cars, made them look pretty terrible. This is the last one, being 2006, where I think it's acceptable and the car still looks quite cool. 2007 and 8, the cars look, I think, just ridiculous with the excessive winglets and extra bits on them. But yeah, Juan Pablo Montoya, also one of my favourite Formula One drivers, currently racing in NASCAR. I just really like this model. A special shout out and thank you to my girlfriend's father, who actually had this model and gave it to me as a gift. Very generous and very much appreciated. So let's get this opened up out of packaging and hopefully give you guys a cool review. Okay, and here we have the McLaren opened up and out of packaging, and hopefully it looks as good on the camera as it does in real life. A really beautiful looking Formula One car. Honestly, if you took off these little side pods and aero bits, the car would look absolutely stunning. Really nice model. It's a real shame at the moment that the McLaren Formula One team are not doing too well with the Honda engine at the moment. But I guess it's been nearly 10 years since this car was on track. And McLaren, whilst they were winning, weren't, I guess, successful in winning the overall championships. Having said that though, Montoya, there are some great clips on YouTube. Just a raw racer, always battling, always fighting. Reminds me a little bit of a current Fernando Alonso. I love the design on his helmet as well. I think that's quite cool. Sponsors, of course, Johnny Walker have been a long-time sponsor of McLaren, actually. And then we've got the beautiful Vodafone McLaren Mercedes colour scheme as well. So it looks really good, especially from the side. Michelin tyres, of course. None of the rapidly degrading Pirellis that we've got now. Yeah, overall, just a really impressive looking model. And here we've got a front-on shot of the car. Really interesting design. I mean, it looks quite futuristic. I don't know why the horns on the back there. I don't know what aero advantage that has. Obviously, it has to have something, otherwise it wouldn't be there. But it's just kind of a weird look for a Formula One car. Having said that though, the silver and the fluoro orange really comes across well on this model. Minichamps paint scheme, very nice indeed. There's lots of just little details that show up really nice, like the air ducts for the brakes over here. Or it's probably very hard to see on camera, but there's the groove lines for where I guess the engine and the radiators and everything would be located. So very nice. And checking out the back, you can see the new Formula One cars as of next year, and I think 2017, are going to have a lower and wider rear spoiler. So this is probably a more accurate indication of what we're going to get coming up very soon. I think this bit at the back is also quite interesting as well. If you take a look, I love the detail on this thing, the gold suspension and everything like that. Looks fantastic, very cool. And a quick look at the model from the air. Really impressed with how Minichamps just deliver a really great range of quality with the Formula One models. And just for comparison, I've got the MP4-21 against a much later 2009 Lewis Hamilton McLaren. You can see that in 2009 they got rid of all the winglets and everything. The car looks a lot sleeker, but it's also quite a bit bigger as well. Very different rear wings and front wings and so forth. If I had to pick one, I think the 2009 is a much nicer looking car just because it's missing all the aero. It looks very sleek. But having said that, the MP4-21, I think the colour scheme on that and the graphics are much nicer. And a front-on comparison as well. You can see obviously the differences there. If you're a big McLaren fan, then no doubt you'll want to try and pick one of these McLaren models up. I think it's a really nice, visually pleasing model. It's one of the nicer McLarens of that mid-2000 period. Great driver as well. I think he won a couple races with McLaren, although unfortunately not able to capture a championship or anything like that. Thank you very much again to my girlfriend's dad for giving this to me as a gift. It's a beautiful model, highly recommended, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this review on the 1/18 scale Minichamps Formula 1 McLaren MP4-21.